The best of the worst.
Good morning, everyone. It's 9:01 a.m., October 25th, 2019, and we will now be speeding up. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, and one indivisible.
Can I do something on that Texas flag?
Yes, sir.
You know, some people like this, we need to have a clarification at some point, because there was a gentleman that was here that told us to go like this.
Yes.
And he changed our mind just like that. I think there needs to be clarification.
But when we did it at the Jimbo County Fair, all the young ones did it.
That's what they do in schools, that's what they do now.
We did
But
some sort of
I believe Michael sent over, the
Yeah, statute.
statute.
And Michael, he's not here today, but
He's not here
he's
today.
the only one with,
On that day, did you
Clarify.
present
Yeah,
it
so that way we can get unified again or whatever.
yes.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Always doing it wrong.
I
can vote.
I can,
Oh, I don't know if you're doing this, and then
You're just supposed to keep your hand on your heart, that's what
The
Michael
whole
said
time.
the whole time.
unless, yeah, you remember.
That's what
whatever
it is, so like, that's so we can stay consistent, we'll just keep our hand on our heart, everyone. Okay?
Yeah.
Like this,
Okay,
not like this. We'll do like this.
I can print it out for you, Ms. Margie, and
Okay.
email it to you.
That'd
that's
be
fine,
good.
I'll
It
keep my
should be-
hand on
it
my
should
heart.
be in the
Anybody
computer.
have any objections to that? This is the lag?
No, I just, some people do
Right,
it.
I know, man, I know.
Different ways.
I've seen some people doing it, I've seen it all.
That's the only thing.
I'll tell them that I've seen it.
I've got it, Dave, I'll send it.
Alrighty. Any, one that would like to come before the commissioner's report?
We have, just for everyone's edification, we do have the sign-up sheet
Yes.
as, required.
Required now,
And
September
now,
first,
and, we've, of course, nobody has signed up, so
Right.
I guess we're good to go.
but it'll be there, and I guess we can go through and point that out.
Can I something? Does it have to be signed before, or as they come in, they can sign it?
Well, they come in because it goes by agenda item.
I
So in other words, if it's the last one and they're just coming in on
They can sign it.
2, 3,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
they can sign it.
And do they, write down what's
Yes.
their concern or whatever?
No, they just
Yeah.
write down the agenda item.
Agenda.
But if they're speaking in the
Well,
public,
it's
but
not
about
an
something
agenda.
else.
Well, that's,
Supposed to be.
if it's something other than the agenda, they will come in the beginning of the meeting and make their
Under the public testimony.
Right, exactly.
The public present. That changed a little bit during the legislative update and, allowing the public to come in per agenda item. So, we'll see how that goes. Anybody else that'd like to come before us? Okay, agenda item number 4, consider approving minutes from the previous meeting.
Motion to approve.
There's a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Agenda item number 5, discuss and approve budget amendment from tax assessor collector. Mary Lozano transfer $700 from line item 12,499,427, conferences and associations to 12,499, retail office supplies.
I looked at it, Judge, and everything is okay.
I make a motion.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Agenda item number 6, discuss and consider budget amendment request by Safety Department to transfer $100 from conference associations to 12,567, 427, sorry, equipment 12,567, 573.
I'd like to change that, Judge, to change it to transfer $100 from gas, oil, and lube. It's 12,567,330.00 to equipment. We'll take it out of that account.
330 point.
00, that's the gas and oil. Has more money.
Okay. All right, that being stated,
Make
that
a motion.
first. You have a motion?
I move to approve.
Thank you. Then we have a second, correct? We have a motion motion on the floor for that adjustment for that break on the, budget. Second. I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Number 7, discuss and consider budget amendment request from Commissioner Precinct 4, Huicho Gonzalez, transfer of $3,500 from 24,624,550 road and bridge improvements to 24,624, 4675 truck hauling.
Judge, I looked at it and everything's.
Motion to, motion. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Agenda item number 8, consider take action to enter into a cooperative purchase agreement through the HDAC with Sid Martin Emergency Group, LLC for a 2020 Skeeter International CB15 SFA International 6.6L diesel, 4-door Skeeter step side, 500 gallon with a Darley 8C 200 Kubota, for use by the Fremont Fire Volunteer Fire Departments.
Judge, every year, we budget $150,000 to fire department. At this point, it's account 12,543,465.00. At this time, we have a balance of $142,590. It's y'all's decision what y'all want to do with it. 142,590, and it's y'all's decision. You know, usually they move from town to town, correct? And this time it is 3 months.
Yeah, it was 3 months.
And how much is this piece of equipment?
It's 167,
Something like that. It
My-
would
my-
be
I don't know.
something that would have to be paid twice. Or at the end of this year with whatever you all want to pay this year, that's how much we have in there with the difference being paid next year. Like I say, that's you all's decision. I'm just giving you.
So last year was given to who? And they got the cash or they got a?
No, they gotta buy a vehicle of some kind.
What happened last year, they got a new car engine in Orange Grove, and what they had transferred to Fremont. So I think, I don't know who's in rotation, at some point, the city of Alice needs to be on a rotation,
They just purchased 2, didn't they?
and,
To what?
2 fire trucks.
To a grant.
yeah, but, we're not, we always subsidize city of Alice. I don't think we can do it this year nor next year, but,
It'll be the
but
turn
at
to
some point, you know, they have to be part of the discussion. That's what I'm saying.
and I believe it's next time.
Yeah, so anyway, so there's a rotation, and I'm okay with this, don't get me wrong.
No,
I think it's a good thing, and I'm all for it. I'm just trying to say that we
Yeah,
need
no,
to.
and like I say, I'm just giving you the numbers, Commissioner Precinct 4 is bringing it forward, you all decide as to what you all want to do.
So will we pay out the whole 142, or will we pay 100 and leave the 67 next year?
Whatever you all decide.
However we want to.
Actually, we have most of it this year and then next year. It's a 2-year deal.
Well, if
And
we don't have any plans for the,
For the rest,
for
for
anything else,
the
we need to probably try to take care of it with this budget.
Okay, whatever you all decide, like I say, that's.
One way or another, we'll get it, some type of assistance.
I make a motion that we approve to go into an agreement and to pay the 142,000 out of this year's budget.
Okay, we have a motion as stated. Second. Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
So knowing right now, we don't have a, who's next?
There's no.
Really, it's just been followed verbally. I do believe that the city of Dallas is next, but the other ones has to. If I'm incorrect, you all please correct me.
We talked about it when we did it, and I know Fremont was next,
Yes,
but there was no,
But today, this is what's on the agenda.
yes.
In the future, we can discuss
Yes.
others.
But Fremont last year got a new truck.
No. We haven't had a trip in a while.
I mean, Orange Grove.
Orange Grove.
I'm in Orange Grove.
Orange Grove.
yeah, we know about already what happened, we already had it passed.
But it's already been voted on. Okay, thank you.
All right. We could, in the future, or here in the near future, create some kind of,
You all
so we can
can.
be,
You all can.
so we can have something to reference to, otherwise
Sure.
everything's gonna be verbally and verbal and just case by case. So
Yeah, you all can. go
just for
ahead.
clarification.
Yeah.
Thank you. Number 9, consider and take action regarding procedure for filing vacancies to the 911 addressing and safety officers, including naming applicants, screening committee, and possible consolidation of funds. Commissioner Garcia?
Yeah, I put this on the agenda because we actually have two vacancies downstairs, and, I think it falls under your jurisdiction, Judge, and we need to know how to proceed as far as the hiring process, or we wanna consolidate, those departments, for sure, we need to visit the job descriptions. So, you know, and I just need to make sense of what's going, you know, how we proceed, because 911 and safety are very important to our.
To our organization, yeah. That's why I asked Ms. Sylvia to be here, because we went over a couple of things, and I don't wanna put her on the spot, but we did sit down for an extended period of time, and we discussed how, the safety, position, how important it is, and how many, duties, job descriptions that's on there right now currently, some of the things that need to be tweaked, and some of the duties that, might have not been carried out as expected from the previous holder, so we want to make some clarifications there regarding, because it also includes the floodplain management, correct, Sylvia, and some other duties that may have not been, addressed, so, yeah, that right there is yes, no.
As of this time, before we go forward, I just wanna make clear, at this point, these jobs are gonna be hired by Commissioners Court. We're gonna go through the process, that's why they have the applicant screening committee.
Well, if it's open up for hiring, but if it's incorporated with somebody else.
Well, that's what we're gonna discuss. But as of right now,
For now,
the emergency management directly under you, the other ones have to go through that process.
right,
And unless you all, but even if they incorporate it, they're still under you all. Unless
But
they're
you don't have to
incorporated.
advertise for incorporating with another.
and I understand what you're saying, I understand, but this is what I'm gonna say. That, the only one that actually has any, or supervision authority is the county judge, over there, I understand. And the way it currently is situated, unless we change the organizational chart, which we've discussed, then it would be different.
Yes.
Is that clear?
Yeah, that's it, that's what I just wanna make sure.
Yeah, and, I mean, is that clear?
Well, that's why we're here today, to clarify.
Right.
You know, I'm not, the department there, it's been chaos for a while. And to the
Sure
point,
has, I can speak
to
to
the point of where two people left.
Yeah.
So we need to make sense of it,
And we do need to hire those, fill those
Oh, yes.
positions.
for sure.
And the job description should, you know, there needs to be duties there that certifies them on OSSF, on Vector. That has to be part of the job descriptions. So, you know, so they can know they're gonna have to go get certified. You know, stuff like that is, I think we need to clarify.
And I believe Cindy put, the job descriptions for those jobs on the walls. Yes, you all have all those.
We have that, except that we haven't met with her. Sylvia and I have discussed a little further regarding certain particulars about the job description and the duties, and so, and I'll say this, that nobody knows best but Sylvia. She's been there long enough, and she did a great, excellent job of breaking it down for me. And I had never, really had the opportunity because, the previous,
No, she does a very good
personnel,
job.
the previous personnel that were on there, not necessarily carried all the duties as was described in the description, nor did they want to, open to what we discussed yesterday and specify and be, you know, the detail as far as the job duties and description. That's complicated and can get convoluted because there's some overlapping, and then there's certifications, OSSF, and the floodplain, and so that all falls under the safety guy.
The floodplain management, I was always against it. I think it falls under the judges. I think emergency management probably, that was kind of forced in there. I spoke against it, but it passed, and I think.
And yeah, it's there because we brought that up, myself and Sylvia, and that needs to be
That needs to be corrected. I think there's some monies to be there, that needs to be.
Yeah, and we do need to check back with TAC and a couple of organizations that we were gonna look to, as a resource and be able to, reference and get some direction from, the TAC and another organization in the county.
Whatever direction that the court takes, Judge, I'd like to have some cross-training. Everybody needs to know safety,
Sure.
911, OSSF, you know, they need to be cross-trained, not that they're gonna do it full
Well, then,
time, but.
then it would be kind of difficult to do that, because you would be expecting those people to know that and not be able to.
I don't know how difficult it would
Well,
be.
no, I mean, what I'm saying is that,
I know.
I can see where you come from, but then you're putting somebody in a position to say, you're just as good as this guy, and the pay difference is not gonna.
So we're gonna have to equalize the pay scale, that's for sure.
We need to make those adjustments, and it's not easy overnight.
And that's why we're having this discussion, you know, because I think it's very unfair for quite a while that Celia does a lot of
Yes.
duties and she's underpaid.
And another thing, just for the record, and I understand, Commissioner, what you're saying, and I get a little worked up because before there was no actual, way to clarify this, and we could have addressed it, but we're here, and we have a new budget cycle that will start at the beginning of the year. Some of these legislative updates, there's a few tweaks that are gonna affect, certain of those departments. We just need to identify that and clarify it and tweak it. That way, we need the right person there that's gonna carry out the duties, that's gonna be committed to their, duties and their responsibilities. We can't have somebody just pop in there that's gonna not carry out those duty certifications and be proactive. I myself now, we can all figure out a way now that there's some, obviously we're at this point, so we need to look at that and, as far as, what was the other thing we had to do, addressing the 911, and the
Okay, so-
safety, and then the consider, take action on the, what is it that we had?
The screening.
The screening committee, yeah.
I think we need to proceed with the hiring process, advertise,
But
and while we work on job descriptions, but when we get
that's
applicants.
just it, we just wanted to clarify if y'all are gonna consolidate it. If you're gonna put, we don't wanna hire somebody for safety that is gonna be incorporated with somebody else.
No, I wanna say something. I firmly believe, I was involved with that office there years ago, and I firmly believe that there's too many positions in that office that doesn't justify us paying that much money. It's an abundance of money that's been in there, we're working with taxpayer money, we need to incorporate it with somebody else. 911 needs to be incorporated. Sylvia is the oldest citizen, she's certified and to a certain extent to be able to do the applications for the septics. She's been there for so long, she knows every single office, every department in there. She needs to be, my recommendation is she needs to be the OSSF, DR.
Inspector?
Yes.
DR.
Well, I'm sorry, the safety, not inspector, the safety. We need to incorporate the safety department with her. She can handle that. She's been always involved with it, from back in the day, from Just Science till now, she's been involved with it. She can handle it. My recommendation is to incorporate the safety with her. And give her a stipend, we'll work the stipend out to give her a stipend.
That's gonna come incorporations, part of the agenda item, because, you know, I think everybody has.
And then 911 also, I don't see no reason why we should hire somebody for that position.
That's what we
not
wanna
enough
make
work
sure.
for that.
That's why if y'all wanna incorporate it that way, when we advertise, we know what we're advertising for.
Well, exactly.
If we can give somebody a stipend, I mean, we were paying how much? About 41,000 in total benefits and salaries. And if we give just somebody an $8,000 stipend, you're already saving $30-some thousand.
Well, that was the idea.
You know,
I think that,
and it's staying within that office.
I think that all these ideas are great. We just need to sit down with the person, and, these applicants need to understand that the multiple duties and whatever it's gonna require. And until we put something specifically, as Noe mentioned, that's accurate and, there's not gonna be any question as to what applies for it or the qualifications that are required. We need to have that job description done correctly, because if we're gonna incorporate those duties so we can know, because right now we don't have, the way that descriptions are, it doesn't
I
jive.
think incorporating is the best way to go. I think we're already advertising for 911. I think we need to continue, create the job descriptions and move forward with the safety and incorporating the other two.
But why are we advertising for 911?
We should
We're gonna
advertise.
incorporate it.
We should incorporate it.
Incorporating 911, they're just the safety and the.
That's a position right there.
What we do right now before is, if someone's willing to, and if we can, work that out, because
Mr. Garcia.
right now,
Let me ask you a question. I know back in the day when Judge Sykes was here, he was a floodplains manager. And I firmly believe that that's a position that it takes a lot of, it's not an easy one. It was offered to me and they told me not to get it. It's almost, You need almost an engineering degree.
Engineering job.
It's a very tough deal, and I believe that belongs to the county judge.
Yeah, it belongs to the county judge.
Well, and we discussed that, Sylvia and I, and we have currently, and it does require a lot of expertise in it, and we currently have, and considering, and I'm gonna bring that before the court, because the only ones that actually can, address that and speak to that and know what's going on is an engineer, and maybe a firm that we currently do business with. We can figure out from case to case. It's not as often that those things occur, and when it does, we can leave it open.
When they brought that up, about 2 months before he came into office, my recommendation, look, why are we doing this when the new judge is coming in?
Right.
So that was my recommendation, to kind of wait.
Right.
Because it falls under county judge. Right. And emergency managers also, that could be incorporated right there, sure.
And there's nothing that, and like I said, I still need to, we didn't completely finish our conversation, Sylvia and I, until we're gonna have this meeting today, so we can know what direction the court wanted to go. So that way we can know how to set up some of these descriptions and maybe the suggestions as to incorporating. So we can put a job description together, because I don't wanna say anything right now yet until we proceed.
Right.
And then you guys, the Commissioners Court, when it comes to those floodplain issues, there's gonna be specific, it's not as often. And the engineering firm would be helpful sometimes from case by case.
Yeah, right. But right there, we need to put it in the right place.
Right.
That's what I've always thought, it needs to be under.
So,
Just need to move forward.
okay, so easily we could just right now vote that, yeah, the floodplain falls under the county judge's office. I'm not gonna go get an engineering degree or nothing, but I'll take it.
That's why I put this line item on the agenda, because we need clarification in how to proceed.
Okay.
That's the only,
I think Noe has a better idea of how we,
One of the things on here
and
that,
thank you, Noe, because you called me about it to post the job right away, and so. we
it's just, we just wanna work with you, work with everybody, just make sure what's in place right now is what we follow. Another thing is, naming applicant screening committee, and this is a process that we have right now.
Mhm.
Last time when we did the 911, I believe, it was Cindy, Ventura, and Lynn Kershaw, because you're familiar with that. Again, you all will name, maybe it shouldn't be a commissioner because you're gonna vote for this person. Maybe it should be somebody else. I would like to say that I do want Cindy, or I'd like for Cindy to be on there. She has a question, she does our HR, she's familiar with the process.
Well, that's not a problem, because she's done it before.
If y'all wanna put 2 other persons, it's up to you all, but just to name a committee right now, so that way when we do move
no,
forward, that way.
actually, no, I disagree with you. It shouldn't be a commissioner or the judge. I disagree that we name a committee today
Okay,
until we get the applicants. I don't want a committee that's gonna be influenced by who applies.
okay.
So I don't think it should be, you understand what I'm saying?
Bombarded, yeah.
I got a question, Mayor.
Well, before anything, and I was gonna finish, I was gonna allow Sylvia before we wrap this up, to say a few words. Are we done? So hold on.
Just one concern I have right now.
Okay, 1 second, sir. You can come up.
I want to say something before y'all
Wait,
get
wait,
back.
because you didn't vote yet. Wait, who's handling the 911 right now?
We are.
Nobody.
I mean, no, I'm
We're
talking about-
taking messages.
We're taking messages and directing traffic.
We're keeping track.
Who's the one that answers the phone?
Well, the calls go to Sylvia, and then they get.
No.
No, because I sat down with Sylvia.
They have their own line, and that line, and nobody answers. Some of the people call our line, and we transfer to the judge's office.
Or some of the people call us directly.
Right. So we're saying to call,
Right.
Well,
because I've been
for
asked.
now, because then people kind of
Yeah,
get.
it's gonna come up, and I call these folks back, and I tell them we had a person that vacated it, and just to be patient, because there's nothing else that can be done. I do have a suggestion. We have a person, and I'll let Noe know, that's gonna come in probably part-time, that's done it just on a few hours, that's familiar with it, set up other 911, just to be, this is something that needs to get addressed right now, so we can't do it, so I gotta bring somebody in temporarily, even just for a little while, till we figure it out, because they need to address these things, and then we had some people reach out to us, other organizations that were willing to, the appraisal district, but I didn't wanna go there or anything else. I wanted to get through this meeting so we could figure out where we're at. But yeah, we need to get somebody quick, and I have a couple of people that are familiar with it, have set up other 911 for the county, just on a part-time basis, so they can get us online, and then that person can probably help that other person that comes in, once we name a full-time person, to transition and help them line it out, because with somebody with experience, just part-time. Sylvia.
Okay, good morning. I have one suggestion before you all decide whether you're gonna consolidate or not. The first thing we need to do is change that job advertisement. If y'all are, the way y'all are talking is you wanna consolidate. So then you have to put it on there as a part-time job, because you're gonna consolidate, but it's showing as a full-time job. So make sure that you all discuss that amongst yourselves before voting on it.
Thank you, Sylvia.
That's just in reference to 911.
We talked a lot, thank you. I mean, you wanna add anything else? We had our long discussion, it's still in work in progress that we were trying to figure out.
And just to clarify that, we posted that before.
Right.
It was discussed, so we
Right.
posted it as a
Yeah.
job that it
So
was
that's
for
why I'm saying to
somebody
make the adjustment
else.
before.
And that'll be, you know.
And that's a good point, because we don't know what to do with the applicants that are coming through, I'm just,
You know, and
Straight
that's
up.
why we're here.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
I'm a little confused here, I don't understand why we're advertising.
Because in the past it was a full-time
But
job.
that was done before.
Yeah.
But
Why
that was
wasn't
done
it done
before.
before?
Huh?
Why was it done
we
before?
just gotta get our.
Because that's a process, and it should have been done before.
Well, nobody asked me, and I approved it, and, maybe I should, because it has created this, and we're not even ready to interview or any job description. I understand what it's saying, maybe we need to give it a little break so we finalize this job description, and then we can redo it properly, because it's got a list specifically, we don't want somebody coming
So
in.
in other words, what I'm gathering here is we're not gonna make a motion right now, or anything on making any consolidations or anything? We're gonna go back?
We can't consolidate right now without, like I said.
And that's what I'm saying, my concern is you all can decide whether you wanna consolidate. My concern is you need to change the job description as it's being advertised, because people are applying for a full-time job. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all wanna consolidate it, that needs to be
We need to
taken off
clarify
for
that.
now.
You know, we need to look at it, but we need to sit down with that.
But at that point, you see, and we now have two openings.
Well, I was
Okay.
waiting for whatever was gonna be decided today, whatever y'all were gonna decide, and that way I could help whoever consolidate, but y'all have to make that decision now. Like,
Yeah, well,
what duties y'all wanna consolidate, and that way I can put something
But,
together.
and I
and then
understand,
y'all-
Cindy, but before we
Because
put
right
this
now-
thing up, maybe we should have sat down.
Yeah, now, I mean, we need to pause it.
So,
We
yeah,
need
and
to
if
take
it's
that out.
something that you-
We
and
can't
need
just
to
throw it
re-
on.
No, that's fine, that's
Me?
fine.
No.
But like I said, that was before.
No, I have no idea how to do 911, because that's always been a separate, it's a separate department in
Specialty,
itself.
because I spoke to
The only reason
manager.
it's in our office is because there was nowhere to put that department. That department is its own department in itself.
It's a
I have no
history
idea how
there.
to do that.
It used to be with the sheriff's department,
Yeah.
and they had access to different equipment that they.
And I understand where
Or
y'all are
easily-
saying that it can be a part-time job if you consolidate it. Who are you gonna consolidate it with? What is it that you all are
Let
talking
me
about?
add one other thing to this, that before the 911 was, situated or brought over here, it was with the sheriff's department. There was a reason.
911 was at the
Because
sheriff's
they had
department,
access.
because
But there was a
it's,
reason,
because it's E911 addressing for emergency
and it's more
personnel.
efficient, it's a lot more, and then whatever happened here, there was that gap that was not being filled. To make it easier for the 911 person
People,
to have access to those.
to the
what sheriff's
911
department
office and stuff, yeah.
And what they have access to as far as locations, grids, GPS. So it didn't make any sense, but this is the time right now to clarify and correct that, to make it more efficient, because
And when you say consolidate, what is it gonna be consolidated with?
That's what they're
So
going to
that's
decide.
what we're
Okay,
discussing.
so then, another topic I wanna discuss is floodplains. Floodplains were actually, I was telling the judge yesterday, yes, it has been the judge's responsibility, but it also comes in hand with the county having an engineering company, like an OMU, or what is it called, motion of understanding?
Yeah.
That maybe they can assist with that, because we do have to have somebody when it comes to subdivision rules and
it's
regulations.
technical when it comes to the specs and all that we don't know the language, and it's engineering, and then they're certified, and we don't have that ability to get certified to be able to stamp that approval specific. And it doesn't come up very often, that's what I'm saying, but,
But it does, and we do have an
yeah, it does
issue
come up, but
that's, up in the air right now.
right now we
also.
have that developer, and
And,
people that want to, and need, have
We haven't
questions.
had subdivisions come in over 5 years. One did come in, it didn't go over the proper channel, so we didn't use an engineering firm, and I didn't ask. I just always assumed
Sylvia,
we
that one
work
that
with the
came up,
same people.
I'm sorry to interrupt that, the one
Go
that's coming up, but there's another one coming up too, when it comes to subdivision, and that they're working on right now. And, I'm glad you brought that up, because, we do have to address that floodplain and other specs in other areas, but only an engineer could do that.
Floodplains can, we can put it in the back burners until we make sense of what we're doing, and then, because that can be
But I agree that it should come back to the, it was originally to the judge, county judge, and floodplain, and then take it from there case by case.
Commissioner Ventura, in that reference, I spoke to the judge, and the floodplains, like you said, can come back to the judge with us using that engineering firm to do, say, letters and stuff, that they need something official from a floodplains manager, which we're not certified, nobody here is certified as a floodplains manager, so we don't have to hire a floodplains manager. He takes the responsibility, and they would actually do the letters and the forms for the county,
Like it was done before.
representing
That's the way it
us.
was done, and that's why I was opposed to that.
And it doesn't cost any extra money.
I understand. I mean, I totally understand. I wasn't included in all this previous stuff for my suggestions or my ideas, so I'm expressing
I know
it
that
now.
you're overwhelmed, and we're gonna take care of that.
And I
That's why we're
appreciate that.
here today, to make sense of what's going down.
That was hard.
Okay, I just wanna go ahead and kinda like put everything together. So, this was brought up by Commissioner Garcia, and we thought it was a good line item. So you all do not wanna hire anybody for 911, you do not want for there to be an applicant out there, is that what y'all are saying?
That's what I say.
No, that's
We're gonna consolidate.
Well, the committee, let's start with the committee, because if we do that right now, we can't, because.
I don't wanna have a committee that's gonna be hiring until after we
Well,
have.
the committee's not gonna do the hiring, they're gonna, that's just in case there's like 10 applicants, that committee will sit down to 2 or 3, and those 2 or 3 come to you all, remember the veterans?
But right now, as it is, no, I can't send anybody over, right, because the description's not correct, and we have applicants already.
So once y'all
That's why
decide,
I'm
then I
asking.
can redo it.
Because that came up about consolidating, and really consolidating came by because we lost another employee.
So we need
There
to
were
go back
two open positions,
at the job description.
and we just want clarification.
And the clarification will come with the job description once we.
I
And
make
that's
a
all we
motion that
want.
And we can't do it right now.
911, job.
I think that
Then we pull it from being advertised.
how to proceed with the job descriptions, I think the county judge and one of the commissioners will get with Cindy and discuss it, create a job description for all of them, and then, bring it back to the court. This is the job description, and that we advertise accordingly. What do you think, Cindy?
Yeah, I'm fine, that's what helps so much.
But I think the county judge and one of the commissioners.
With Sylvia.
Because
Yeah, I think
Sylvia
Sylvia's
can
input.
also have you,
Sylvia's
I
input.
understand.
well, actually, I don't know, Sylvia knows more about that department than we do.
And if it's incorporated, maybe we don't have to.
So you can appoint somebody, Judge,
Right.
Yeah,
So what
Right, it
about,
would just be added with the,
right.
You know, if
On
certain
there,
jobs
like-
is added to another one, we don't have to advertise for that.
and so far what I've seen
Because
is,
it was just,
It's a part-time job.
so what about the 3 full-time the applications that we have that have taken the certain resumes for
right,
the.
right.
That's what we're talking about.
so just hold on to them
we
for
don't
now and have Robert.
need to move on.
No, on
interviews,
And like Commissioner said, we don't want to let those folks that are, the applicants, you know, once they find out, because
That it's
it's out
part-time, they
there,
might
but
not
it's a
be-
hiring committee, well, they wanna know who the hiring committee is, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just normal, people wanna know, well, they'll start jockeying.
Well, that's fine, that's not a problem.
It's been a problem for me, man, cause I have about 100 people calling me, so it is a problem, right? I'll send them some way, because we don't have anything ready yet to, tell them.
So y'all believe next Commissioners Court will come by, they'll have the consolidation and the job descriptions for
Cindy
this
and
time?
the judge and somebody
My
else.
recommendation is the judge needs to be involved in the job descriptions,
That's fine.
and, he
We
can
started
appoint-
well yesterday, Silk and I.
He can appoint
A little bit, so we can get
a commissioner to sit, and then,
That'd be fine, we can do that, as soon as we're done here to figure out with Sylvia.
yeah, and it's got, we can do it next week, Judge, whatever,
Okay.
whenever you think, you know,
Yeah.
we can.
And in the meantime, I'm gonna fill that, plug that hole hopefully with some part-time that comes in just for the 911, because we're getting already, and it's a little more than.
You're doing the right thing, getting somebody part-time,
Yeah.
we make sense of that,
Yeah.
that department.
Yeah, okay. So, do we move to, table this to the next, Commissioner Court meeting?
But can we make a motion that we
Yes,
pull
specify.
the,
We need to table.
But we need
The
to specify,
advertising of 911, we need to pull it.
but we can do that.
Why,
Why
We
why
can
are we
do
gonna
that.
table this?
We're not gonna table it.
Because this is what we're gonna do.
So, I mean, do we have to table everything? Can we make a decision on one? Like,
Well,
the
I'm
safety
making a
officer?
motion to pull that's part of it.
Yeah. Why can't we consult?
Because, Sylvia and I discussed that we were gonna specify, right?
We're gonna work on the job descriptions and how we can,
Because if we make a decision right now,
jobs
the
around,
person's
or
not gonna know
duties,
specifically
which
whether they're
duties
gonna take
have
responsibility.
Let me ask you something, Sylvia. Do we have an OSS officer right now?
what?
OSS officer. Do we have one? A DR. Do we have a
A
DR?
DR, yes.
Do we have
Okay,
a?
but people, misunderstand the job description. We have a DR who does all the administrative
Sylvia, you
part
wanna
of
come
it.
up to go ahead and break it down. You got the floor, and then we'll.
We have a DR who does all the administrative part of it, who deals with TCQ, who deals with all the paperwork and, deals with when they come do audits. Then we have our field DR, which is our actual inspector, and it's
We have
always
one?
been that way.
We have one.
We
right
don't
now?
have a field inspector right now.
We don't have one right now.
No, we don't wanna put
We have
Sylvia on.
How long is
administrative-
it gonna be before we get another one? As soon as
Okay, well,
get
we
an
talked
inspection right
about,
now.
we talked about something
have
else.
Sylvia, I told her I would drive her out there and we'd go do inspections, right, Sylvia? So you won't be
Right.
on the field
So
by
that's
yourself.
what
Because I'm not-
happened. That end's gonna be covered.
For now.
For now.
Because the position
Temporary.
still needs to be filled.
Wait, I'll make sure we cover that end, because there's people out there trying to do septic systems and there's not gonna be an inspector, and that's not fair for them.
Right, okay,
That's all
I
fair.
told the judge, you asked me, you want me to go out into the field, I will go because I am a DR, but,
We spoke about that.
but I have an issue because I lose my sense of direction, and it did happen
Sylvia, you
when
don't need
we
to go
had.
into that.
That's
When we
fine,
had-
Sylvia, that was gonna say yes or no to that, okay, we
So,
talked
I'm
about it.
gonna need somebody
Thank
to
you.
take me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Thanks for
Okay,
everything
what
you
else?
do.
I have one big question. So Sylvia right now is gonna be doing some extra duties now. Do we need to come to?
We're talking about that, and we don't know yet.
For us.
We're not gonna forget, we're not gonna just use her and take advantage and not look at something.
The judge is gonna sit down and he'll recommend, what's right, I think.
But we also need to hire a safety officer who's gonna do the vector part of it and all that other stuff.
Yeah, that's part of the job description.
Right.
We're gonna cover all of that.
Right.
And that's what I meant
And
by
we're gonna
commitment,
work
so we gotta
to
figure out those little-
change the duties.
So
We're gonna work on
anyway,
that.
Cindy, maybe the judge and one of the commissioners can meet with you.
Yeah.
And when you create something, maybe the other commissioners can go in there and see if they wanna change something. See, so we can create a job description that works for everybody.
For the county, right? What's best, more efficient for the whole operation.
So
That's what we want with this one.
That's all that we wanted, just to clarify, and I think we did a good.
We did a good job.
We did a good job of that.
Discussion, yeah. Very good.
Now we can move forward, with your part-time help at 911. We understand that now, because I didn't know we were gonna get a part-time,
I didn't know either, but we need someone,
But we
and I
need somebody.
reached out to people that have done it, they said, you know what, we're willing to help you to get you lined out so that we don't get too far behind, and then help train somebody that's gonna be there
And at this point,
full-time.
the 911 that's right now on our website is gonna be full,
Yes, because we made.
because we're gonna
Once I sit
consolidate.
down with Sylvia,
And that's what we're gonna say, because the job description has changed now.
Right.
It's not what we consider
And-
previous
Right.
employee.
and hopefully we can find someone that, that'll be willing
We
to
will.
do both.
Yeah.
But if we decide to consolidate,
And this
Really
is
not
a
a
good
full-time
discussion.
job, right, Sylvia?
Huh?
It's not a full-time job.
well, shoot, we've seen
Yeah,
lately.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I know, but I asked, because what Linda and I have, experienced is pretty frequent, right?
It's been more than I would have thought.
I didn't realize, it's a little.
And-
and-
In the past, it's always been a full-time job.
Sure, yeah.
As we move forward,
In the past, it's
Michael
always been
Guerra
a
has to get
full-time job.
involved to see what we can cross-train and what we cannot cross-train.
Right.
And I'd like to cross-train everybody, actually.
Yeah, it would be good for everybody to be familiar with that. Okay, I move that we table this agenda item till the next meeting.
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed?
But we are gonna pull that application for me.
I'm gonna sit down with Cindy right now. Yeah, we have to, because the way it's currently advertised, does not
The
gonna.
job description is not gonna.
We can do that.
So that motion passes, good discussion. That clarifies for everybody,
Thank you so much for that. I can make better sense of the department now,
Yes.
you know, that's why we.
And it's good because it didn't make any sense before,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get a handle of it.
Yes.
I couldn't even like figure it out until we got to this point, so,
That's good,
all right,
very good.
great. Let's see, agenda item number 10, discuss status of Jim Wells County Emergency Coordinator. Mr. Arcuni, would you like to give us an update as to where we're at as far as status? You're alive, we see that, you came in this morning, that's good. Healthy and everything's fresh, the status of the,
All right,
welcome. Thank you.
something that I haven't done in quite a long time, I actually scripted myself because, I'm running off of like 2 hours of sleep after tracking Mother Nature's cold front this morning.
Thank you for that, and thank you for the update this morning early, and Juan is very efficient when it comes to keeping us posted, because, and I said, I read that thing, and I said, wow, this is nice, I need to do something like that for myself. Go ahead.
So, I understand you'll have the email that I sent out, at least I think I do, but I'm just gonna go ahead and try to stay scripted, because if I go off on a
Yeah.
tangent, we may be here for 30 minutes, and I don't wanna do that. So Judge Rodriguez, Commissioner Ventura, Commissioner Margie, Commissioner Carlos, and Commissioner Huicho, and the other Jim Wells County officials, thank you for being here, and, I stand before you today, and I stand proud, and I'm proud to have the mere opportunity to be here with you today, and for the last several months, as the appointed Jim Wells County Emergency Management Coordinator. A position that I do not take lightly, and I'm honored to hold. I mean, I'm from here, from Jim Wells County, and I'm really honored to have this position and work with every single one of you. Every one of you is a true professional. I've seen every single one of you as a commissioner and elected officials do an amazing job for the citizens of Jim Wells County, so to be in your presence, it's a true honor. I am a true Jim Wells County citizen. I know a lot of you might know who I am, and I'll get into that in just a second, but, I am right here, born right here in Dallas, Texas. I'm a proud 2003 graduate of Orange Grove High School, and I'm proud of my home. I'm proud of my roots, and I'm proud of not only to serve my hometown of Jim Wells County, but also into the capacity of the entire South Texas area, which is what makes my position here with Jim Wells County a little unique, and something that the judge and I have talked extensively about, but part that I haven't unfortunately been able to discuss with each commissioner individually, so that's what most of this is for. Since as far as back as I can remember, there was a fascination with natural sciences, and that fascination comes with a deep understanding that those natural sciences, though beautiful and wondrous to me, can cause disasters and rip lives apart, which is why it's so important for each county, each city, each government entity to have an emergency management coordinator, specialist, anything you want to call it. That's why I stand before you today as an accomplished meteorologist of nearly a decade of forecasting Texas weather, which is no easy feat, and also an emergency manager, which, again, I'm glad that y'all given me that opportunity. Neither are the two easy to attain, so my career began, when my career began, I made it my mission to protect those who matter most to me when it comes to Mother Nature's fury. And to the residents of Jim Wells County, that's always been you, my number one priority, because, again, I'm here, all my family is here, all my friends are here, everyone is here all the time, so even though I serve South Texas in a whole capacity, Jim Wells County has always held a special position in my heart, even before I had this position with the county. So when we think about it, we're just one big, happy, extended family. So in summary, with my time here with Jim Wells County, it has been productive as the Emergency Management Coordinator. But before I start, I'd be remiss if I didn't highlight a few beacons of light as I took this position. First, Sylvia Ramirez, we've already seen her here. Without Sylvia, I would not be where I am today in this historic building with you right now. So I'm happy for her. Your guidance and encouragement are mostly appreciated, and honestly, I still wouldn't be here as far as I am a few months in, so thank you, Sylvia. Next to my predecessor, Mr. Lynn Kierhoff, we talked about him extensively during Commissioner's Court. I often reference him, when I'm trying to get things done, and he's always willing to help, so I appreciate that. And to finally, the judge, it's all started with you, so you contacted me, and Mo contacted me, and everyone got that rolling. It's been a little bit of an uphill battle, but hey, we're here, and again, I'm honored. So, Commissioners, down to what I've been doing as your Emergency Management Coordinator, I'm proud to report that all the emergency plans, and as far as the annexes, have been updated, they've been reviewed, been reviewed again, and a third time, and submitted and all approved by the Texas Department of Emergency Management. Some of you may know this endeavor alone is no easy task. This is not a 2 or 3 page report. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of pages back and forth that need to be reviewed over and over and over. So this is something that requires diligence, it requires time, and it requires patience, and to make sure that every facet of our emergency plan is being covered. In addition to that, which again is no easy feat in itself, I've created from scratch a completely all-new hazards guide program for Jim Wells County, for something that has never been done before for Jim Wells County. It gives ideas and it gives guidance on what disasters entail and how the residents of Jim Wells County can protect their lives, their families' lives, and their property as well, of course. And after all, it's our citizens that means the most to us. So when it comes to protecting their families and their property, they need to have an all hazards guide so they know how to approach this. Some of these hazards, you commissioners and everyone here, you might think that that could be an easy thing. But for a lot of folks, they need guidance on what to do. And this all hazards guide that I've created, that again has taken due time and diligence and a lot of sleepless nights, is something that I'm very proud of, and I'm happy to report that I have it going around to be proofread and that sort of thing. Because let's face it, I'm a scientist, not an English teacher, so my grammar and all that sort of thing is not perfect. So I've also worked with JP Canale to get our LEPC going, our Local Emergency Planning Committee going. That's up and running, and hopefully we're going to have another meeting here in December. I'm absolutely ecstatic that that's going great. I've been in contact and working side by side with our neighbors, community and county emergency management coordinators. Billy Delgado with the Corpus Christi Emergency Management Office has been absolutely fantastic. Ryan Garza, Mike Willow, B County EMCs, Tomas Sanchez, with the Claver County EMC. He's been another beacon of light. These individuals have been monumental in their efforts to get the emergency plans in place here. And I'm even proud to report that I've also created an emergency management plan on how our Emergency Operations Center should be functioning if and when we activate our EOC, yet another document that has never been in full force here in Jim Wells County. Yes, we've had our emergency plans with our annexes in place, but there's never actually been a document in place on how our Emergency Operations Center will operate.
And I'd like to just interject real quick, that added additional knowledge and building up this process is gonna open up some other avenues for us with state agencies. Once we get that in place, that I can go and walk towards, say, this is in place, and that will maybe allow us and help us to get some funding for other emergency stuff that may fall back on us, and we can be designated like a, and we talked about that, but there's a lot more to come, but I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, not at all. So again, with that report, such a detailed plan, again, the emergency management coordinators from our surrounding counties have been, again, very helpful with this endeavor. Another thing that I've been trying to work on with local grants from local companies is trying to get our EOC fully functional. Because right now, our EOC is the entrance of the jail, and as most of y'all know, there's nothing in there. Absolutely nothing in there, and that's absolutely unacceptable, and that's something that I'm gonna continue to try to get, is grant money to get that EOC at least operational, get some computers in there, get some TVs in there, get a radar in there, that sort of thing. So again, I haven't received it yet so far, but I'm gonna keep trying, and I know I'll be successful in that endeavor eventually. I've been in contact with the American Red Cross to be certain that they will come to our aid if we need it. In fact, the American Red Cross comes to your emergency management coordinator for every single event that happens within the South Texas community. I've become their glorified personal meteorologist, it seems like, but that's fine. I'm absolutely fine with it because they know now that Jim Wells County has a meteorologist on staff, and if there's anything that they need to know about, they come to your emergency management coordinator, so that's fantastic. So I've worked with area churches, and I've even named an official shelter in Jim Wells County, which is something that hasn't been done in many, many years. And even the American Red Cross was shocked, and they said, wow, Juan, we haven't heard of a emergency shelter being named in Jim Wells County for years and years. So I'm actually very proud of that, and that took several months in advance just to get that. So I had the American Red Cross teaching how this shelter will be in place, get the trainings in place, that sort of thing. So in that regard, I've even drafted up scratch from emergency plans for some of the area churches as well. So when I get request in as your emergency management coordinator and these businesses that are saying, I have no idea what we do in an emergency, I have no idea what to do, I say, do you have an emergency plan in place, at least a skeleton of what we can work on? No, one, I have nothing. No problem, I'll get that for you. So again, that's something that I think every business should try to do, and I think that that's something that, as the emergency management coordinator for the county, I'm pleased to do and I'm honored to help them with, so that's something that I've been doing as well. I've always been in contact with GrantWorks. Well, I got no GrantWorks to help with our generator grants for the courthouse, our communication towers. As all of you know very well, this has been an ongoing endeavor, and I think it's going to continue to be an ongoing endeavor. And I know you'll have voted on a new system in place, so hopefully that takes care of itself here pretty quickly. in the meantime, with the limited knowledge that I have on the communication towers, I know, again, that's been something that, again, y'all just voted on. That was the one thing I told the judge, and a lot of our Alice communications, radios and frequencies and all that sort of thing is not my
That's okay, you got your hands full, we're
yeah,
figuring that out.
so that's going on its own, but again, I help where I can. And, I've done the best with the limited knowledge with that aspect, but again, moving on, I've also, correlated with the sheriff's office, the constable's office, repair tech, that sort of thing. And I've also been working with the National Weather Service with Mr. John Metz, the meteorologist in charge, to try to nail down exactly the criteria that Jim Wells County needs to become storm, ready county certified. There's only a handful of counties across the entire state that have that distinction as a county, and I'm working to try to get that. One of the big things is to get that EOC fully stacked and fully stocked, and so that's, again, what I'm working on with that. This effort will take time, and, again, I'm committed to succeeding in that endeavor. As most of y'all know, I've worked on, the Texas A&M Forest Service staff, and I continue to have good, connections there, and that's where I continue to monitor our burn ban on a daily basis. I know a lot of you want to know about the burn bans, and some of you may ask, well, we got some rain last night, just a little bit, does that mean our burn ban goes away? Absolutely not. In fact, our fire danger is probably elevated to a high level right now because we have dry air, we have wind, throw a cigarette butt out, we could have a problem. So no, the burn ban is not by any means necessary. And also relaying that threat to the local fire departments. I've been in contact with Fremont, I've been in contact with Sandia, Orange Grove, everyone has been fantastic in that regard. And above all, answer questions from our citizens. Our citizens are constantly asking, one, what do we do here, what do we do there? That sort of thing, citizen questions and comments, concerns are of my highest regard, so I want to answer their questions as best of my ability and keep them current as to what's going on. So above all, I said I'd mention this, a lot of you know that I live a much more public life than mostly everyone in this room, and I'm fully aware of that. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm a broadcast meteorologist, if y'all didn't know. So, just in case, a lot of folks here, it was kind of weird in my first couple of months here because, you see me coming in and out, in and out, in and out. Sometimes I haven't been here for weeks. I know this. The judge knows this. It's not like I'm trying to hide under the radar from y'all. Know that my job entails and extends outside of Jim Wells County 24/7, 365. I am constantly on the move, and I'm constantly watching not only the threats of Jim Wells County, I have a responsibility for the entire South Texas community. To add to that, I've utilized our emergency alert system, and again, last night was one thing. I was making sure that nothing happened in Jim Wells County, or for anyone for that matter. And with our emergency alert system, I understand hopefully we'll be going to a new system which will be cheaper, save the county thousands of dollars, and yet have more bells and whistles, so that's going to be fantastic. But what I want to say is that my job here at the county, again, the judge and I have talked about this extensively, is not an 8 to 5 job. Folks, my job goes from 12 at midnight back to 12 at midnight. I'm constantly going. And the last thing I do before I close my eyes is just to make sure that there are no threats, no Mother Nature threats, nothing of that nature. As soon as I wake up, I did it this morning, which I only had 2 hours of sleep, but I made sure that the rain moved out like it should have. So I'm always on the look for that.
Well, that wasn't quick for us, sir.
Yeah, and I do that. I do it over and over, repeat, do it all over again, and again, repeat. So I'm always on a constant move, but I'm also only one person, and I unfortunately can't be in 50 places at once. I try to be, I'm here with the county as much as I can. I do the best that I can. Again, I'm proud to be your emergency management coordinator, Judge Rodriguez. I told you from the very beginning, I would give you 120%. I feel like I'm doing that, and ladies and gentlemen, I hope that that's very good, and I'm honored to hopefully continue doing that job for you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it, man. Yes, sir. One of the reasons I had it on the agenda was to hear from you.
Yeah.
Because some of us.
Yeah, we haven't had the opportunity to sit down.
I know, I met with you a little bit, and, we needed to understand where we're at and where we're going, and I think you described it to the T. So I'm glad that you're here today, and hopefully we know it. And I just want you to know that if there's anything that we can do for you, I know that you work under the judge, but as commissioners, if there's anything that we can do for you, let us know.
And I'd like to say one other thing. Thank you, Commissioner, for bringing this to the agenda to allow Mr. Rubio to, again, like we had the discussion, this was good. The we shared with everybody. We hadn't had the opportunity because things
That's
were
right.
going
That's right.
fast, and we haven't had a moment, but once we did great on the budget, we got through this, and now the fair, and this is perfect because you put it on the agenda so we could, and I'm glad we did. That attitude and that type of, work ethic and us being able to communicate 24/7 with him, it really is an added enhancement and, an asset, and I can't speak enough to it for our county. Anybody can talk to him. I mean, he's available to anyone, and he's not just someone here, but thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I got something to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hey, thank you for answering. I know it bothered you on the burn ban, but you know it's true, so they.
Oh, no, you know,
Everybody,
everybody,
a barrel.
you know, the thing about weather is that everyone is a certified meteorologist, but not everyone is committed to it as I am. And, you know, again, a lot of folks don't understand the concept. I'm not saying they don't understand the concept of a burn ban, but they don't understand the meteorological factors that go into why the burn ban is in place. It's nice if we receive 2 to 3 inches of rain and the top part of your soil may be saturated, but once you get down into the nitty gritty of that dirt, again, if you get something going, it doesn't matter if that top layer has 2 to 3 inches of rain, it's still gonna go. And the fire departments know that, all our firefighters know that, first responders know that, but the public doesn't know that. And that's, again, where I'm available, and I've always answered that question with, bear with me because, you know, a lot of the public will say, it rained, you know, that should be gone, and I should be able to do what I want to do, and yes, that to a certain extent, but you need to realize the overall pattern of what's going on, and that sort of thing, and that's where we explain.
Mr. Reyes, thank you so much for everything you do. I know we're constantly in communications because
Yes,
of the
sir.
weathers and the burn ban, stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
And I know that there's always been a misconception about your position like that. It wasn't just with you, it's always with the prior one also. People don't see you, and we realize that your job is a 24/7 deal.
Yes, sir.
And, so we may not see you here, but we know you're out there and what's being done is. And, so we may not see you here, but we know you're out there and what's being done is the communications through phones and
Yes,
we
sir.
communicate, that I'm comfortable with. I know
Yes,
that it's out there, it's happening, so we really thank you.
Actually, Mr. Keeler, we're all part of the emergency management.
Yes, sir.
My deal,
Okay.
Mr. Garcia,
Yes.
if I may, if we could, you know, we could ask for him to make a report every so often, you know,
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
and
right.
give us a update on what's going on, what's happening, especially the burn ban, that weather coming up.
Yes, sir.
The judge is the head of the
Yeah.
department,
Yes, yes.
and then you, and then us, but we're all part of it. We go,
Absolutely.
if you can't feel, if you can't be there that day, guess what, we're gonna be there.
Yes, sir.
So I would just want you to feel comfortable that, we got your back.
Yes, sir. And I feel that way. Don't think that I don't, because I absolutely do. I feel the support in Jerome County.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Villar.
Thank you. We'll move on to.
Well, you'll be here.
I'm accepted. And give me a second, I'm accepted. Can't lose that. Do we, let's move on to
Treasurer's report.
county treasurer's report and monthly reports.
No, is the spending, averaging up pretty much, from month to month?
Yes, they are.
No, wait, that question played that, sales tax revenue. Somebody asked us in Fremont if they wanted a copy of, the sales tax that they receive per,
I believe Mandy called me and it's on our website.
was that available?
It's not available on the website, our report.
But I think they're asking for like individual, what do you call it, entity that are paying the sales tax to the county.
I don't have that. You're asking me like,
That would be,
if,
The state.
the state would have it. I don't have it.
that's not us, right? See, they mentioned that the prior, auditor used to give it to us, and I don't think
No, what we give is just what we have right now.
it's just.
It's a total, and that's what we're gonna go over.
The countywide.
And it does give something for Fremont, you know, as to, what sales tax for Fremont.
Thanks.
Make a motion to accept, treasurer's report.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. That was your report?
What's the treasurer?
Number 12, payroll and bills submitted by county auditor. I move that we accept agenda item number 12 is stated.
Second.
You guys need motion? I have a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No. I'm way up.
We're good right there with that one?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Okay, all those opposed?
I got, almost frame, I thought we had already done it.
Motion passes. That happened to me too, I was behind a little. I think we're good there, right? Number 13.
The only thing about that one is, but not 52.
In the motion, right, the previous one, minus 50. So we're okay with that?
We just approved the treasurer's report, right?
Yes, yes.
No.
We approved the treasurer's report and then we did the county auditor.
We just approved the bill.
The bills. We did number 12.
In other words, we're already on 13.
Yeah, we're on 13. It's because I misstated, I didn't mention the 52. When I made the motion, it's my thing, I threw it off a little bit. I apologize for that. Yes, sir.
We're back on.
Number 13. Thanks, sir. Consider approving county auditor's report.
The first report I'm gonna go over is Jingles County Sales Tax Monthly Report for the month ending September 30, 2019. The sales tax revenue report, first of all, for the general fund, we have collected 84.23% of what was forecast for us to collect. You have all of the different RMBs there in sales tax collections. They're all in the 85 to 84 range. Overall, we have collected 84.40% of our projected sales tax budgeted for. Jim Wells County, what we're talking about, Commissioner Gonzalez, a while ago, Jim Wells County overall has collected this month which was September, a net payment current period of $252,556.53. The net payments prior period was $249,797.23, a difference of $2,759.24, or a percentage of 1.1%. Overall, for the year, through this time period, we have collected current payments of $2,347,035.73. At this time last year, we had collected $2,105,949.05, a difference of $241,086.68, or a positive percentage change of 11.45%. And here's where you have the individual cities that are in Jim Wells County. Fremont, I'm just gonna go over Fremont. Well, you spoke about Fremont. Fremont, this month collected $15,625.61. Last time, at this time, they collected $14,774.65, or they had a positive of 5.76%. Overall, for the year, Fremont, at this time, has collected $11,853.96 more at this point than last year. The next one I'm going to go over is the auditor's monthly report. On the revenue side, the general fund has collected 97%. The R&Bs as a percentage have done 92%. Then you have all the different funds. Overall, we have collected 96% of the revenues that were forecasted for this year. At this point in the year, going through September, all of the different departments are listed. The percentage you should not be above is 75. That's the 3/4 of the year. Everyone is listed there. If there's any problems where y'all are over 75, and just get with us, we'll go over it. We'll see sometimes if payments are made. One of the stands to mind is usually a tax assessor collector. Sometimes we have to give that payment ahead of time, and the percentage might be up. But we can go ahead and rationalize that as to why that's up. The total general fund, we had a budget of $16,482,873.56. We have spent $11,400,158.30, or at 69%. Our road and bridge, they're at 67% average for all of them. They're all listed there. The different accounts are there. Overall, total expenditure for Jim Wells County at this point is at 68%. Like I said, our percentage should be 75, so we have a positive variance of 7%, which, like I say all the time, this goes to all the commissioners court, all the different departments that are keeping an eye on their expenditures and keeping spending down, and I and the county appreciate that. Thank you.
Is there any big bills that we paid towards the end of the year?
I think we paid the last one for you already, right?
Yeah, that already been paid, that's the last.
Yeah, there shouldn't be anything. We got the insurance coming up.
Yeah.
That's the big one that's coming up.
And for those that don't know, when our fiscal year starts in January, that's how come some of these,
Yeah.
these numbers seem odd to some, like the city, they start in October, right?
It's a different.
There's a difference.
I make a motion to approve the county auditor's
I'll second.
report.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Noe.
Thank you all.
Judge, it would be,
Before, yeah, I was gonna ask to recognize.
yes, sir.
Okay, before we adjourn real quick, go ahead, Commissioner.
Court, I'd like to recognize Mr. Chief LaRue from Fremont, Texas. Congratulations, sir, on the proposal that was approved by Commissioners Court. So, you weren't late, like me, I was late. I thought actually I was early, and I missed just the timing, so my bad. So,
Chief
we
LaRue?
went ahead and approved
Yes.
it's been approved, the proposal, so if you got anything to say, you're more than welcome to
Chief LaRue, would you like to
address
At this time, I'll allow you to address the court if you have anything to say here.
In a way, I'm kind of shocked. I haven't been up before you guys before like this.
Well, welcome, first time, huh? Good.
greatly appreciate all the support we have from you guys. It's great. And we, of course, there for a long while, Fremont had the reputation that we felt like a forgotten part of the county, which we know it wasn't, but that's just the way people look at it down there. But we've come to y'all before in the past for some assistance, which we got back in 2006, I think it was. And now, this truck that y'all approved now is gonna be a great asset. And as far as like the burn ban that y'all were talking about, it doesn't, they take and seem to think that when they put a burn in, when y'all put a burn ban in place, everybody's got to burn. Just the last 3 days, we've had 2 different fires. There's one north of Fremont and south of Fremont on the side of the highway, and it was an accidental start. There was something in the middle from the vehicle hit the grass and that farm was saying the conditions just right and it would take off on us. Fortunately, we had enough equipment, plus we had help from Brooks County to come in and take care of that kind of stuff. And this truck that we're gonna be getting will help out a great bunch, because our, one of our other trucks are down to where we can't fix it anymore.
Well, Chief Ruby, thank you for your service and for all that you do for that area of Jimos County.
All I wanna say is, just for us to make sure to order it and get.
Yes, Mr. Guerra has already communicated with the
And get it
company.
this year, you know, so we can see.
Purchase it this year.
Purchase it.
Payment towards that.
Yeah, he's finally aware of the.
That's that it comes after the year, so we wanna go ahead and take care of
It
that.
is financed or what? No.
It'll be,
In a 2-year deal.
Okay.
but we'll go ahead and
And to
do that.
pay that, okay.
But,
Yes, I believe it takes about, was it 6 months to get built?
They said 9 to 10 months.
but I wanna go ahead and,
Yes, yes.
the money for this.
They need a down payment, which would be the
Yeah.
142.
Yes, sir, that's what I wanna make sure that we
And then they can just eat the rest, right, after that?
So when we get the truck, we'll pay the other. Scrub out.
Well, next year.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Guerra.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Linda, do we have anything else? Okay.
I just wanna say something. I appreciate what the discussion we had today. It was very, what we needed to do, and it also helps us more or less what direction we take. And that way we can get it going, not just the discussion.
Thank you all. I move that we adjourn. Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.